Hi, my name is Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice, and today I'm talking about a accessory for a game, specifically for this game, Role Player, and its expansion. The accessory is these 3D printed plastic inserts. There's a whole set of them. They go inside the box and help you organize the game and its first expansion so that it's easy to set up, easy to put away, and also kind of assists with the actual play. So I wanted to go ahead and show you how I have the game organized right now, and then how these inserts work in the box and how you can pull them out, use them on the table as well, and then come back here and give you my thoughts on the product. So let's go right to the desk and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so here are all the plastic inserts. There's a whole system of them. You can see there's quite a few of them here. But before we get into all that, I want to show you just kind of how the game is organized right now. So again, this is the base game and its first expansion. You have just all the main dice that you use in the game here in this bag. All right, so these are the dice that you're drafting and placing, including the ones from the expansion. You have another little bag of the combat dice, all the coins, various tokens, the colored wooden cubes that you use to track some things on the player boards. All right, and these little blue plastic cubes, the first player token. You've got some cards here that are rubber banded. We've got basically all the market cards here. That's what those are. All right, it's pretty straightforward. We have some other cards over here, also rubber banded. And these are, let's see, we have some reference cards, we have the initiative cards, and we have the minions, and the backgrounds, or backstories, I think they're called. Okay, so we have all those. And over here we have a third set of cards, rubber banded. And here we have the special things for the bosses. What they call it, obstacles. You got obstacles, attacks, locations. You got some of those for each of the monsters that you have to go up against. All right, so we got all those. And then we have some more reference cards, cost summaries, and then we have the alignments. Okay, so we've got all that. We have the pad of player characters that you can fill out at the end of the game. Basically, your score pads. We have the big cards here together in a bag. So this gives us the big monsters that you fight, and then some more reference cards. All right, we have those. Oh, this is just a little promo pack that I never opened, so I'll open that a little bit later. You have the player boards. All right, so you got all those. One more. And the rule book's on the bottom. All right. So that is that. So that's how it is, as you can see, somewhat organized, but not very organized, not as organized as I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and organize everything into these inserts and then show you what that looks like. All right, so let's take a look at it now, how it is with the new organizer system in there. So first of all, you have the rule books on top, which already I like that. I don't like having to dig to the bottom of the box to get to the rule books, and I also don't like the rule books sitting on top of stuff where they won't sit flat. So I like that they are on top now, and they're on top of stuff that they'll sit flat. You also have the player boards now on top of everything else, which is also a nice touch, because when you're making choices in the setting up the game, this is probably one of the first things you'll be choosing, is which of these player boards that gives you your character's race. That'll probably be one of the first things you're choosing, so I like that that sits on top. All right, we have this little tray here, which holds the market cards. I like this. I think in play, it's kind of nice. You can take this out. You can set it on the table. You could shuffle these two stacks together, put them on top of each other, and now you have a space for your discard, right? So that's kind of cool, like that. And then when you're putting it away, you just gotta split it somewhere in the middle, okay, and put it back like that. So there's that. We have this tray which goes under that, which is for the coins. Now, this is split into two spots because I think it's optimized for. There was like I think with the Kickstarter for this game, there was an optional add-on that would give you like metal coins in two different denominations. But I don't have that, so I just have the little cardboard coins. They're only in the one denomination. So it's unnecessary, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not really being used. And we have this little tray here, which holds the extra large cards. So you have your large reference cards and then the various monster cards. So that works well enough. You have this tray with the dice, the combat dice that is, and the first player token just kind of stuck in there because there's no other convenient spot for it. I guess you could set it on top of here. That doesn't quite go down far enough, so that's a good enough spot for it. And you have this tray here. This has some of the cards in it. You have your backstory cards and your class cards, right? So you got that. And then this tray has your initiative cards, your small reference cards, and your minion cards, right? Well, not small reference cards, normal sized reference cards. Okay, so all that goes in there. You have this little tray which has your colored cubes for the different players. And you have this, which has your experience cubes. You have this. So this is just the character pads set on top. And then you have that same bag with your dice in it. And the bag just kind of sits in this space. And you have this little tray that just kind of goes around it to sort of hold everything else, you know, square and flush. It is, you definitely have to put this in the box first, then put the bag side there as well. So it does what it's supposed to do. And I was thinking too, I don't know if this is something I would do, but you could just set that on the table and use it as sort of like a dice tray. You could roll your dice in there so they don't go scattering too far. I don't know. It's an idea. I'd have to test it out to see if I actually like that. But otherwise, it's just there to kind of keep, like I said, keep everything else nice and square around the bag with the dice. Okay. And you have this tray here. This has your adventure tokens, and can't remember what these tokens are called right now, but it has those other tokens. And then you have this little tray which has your injuries and your, I think they're called fame tokens or something like that. So split that up. So right away you can see here, this was all previously just thrown in a bag together. Now they're all divided out, so that's nice. And then finally you have this tray, and this tray in it has your adventure cards, all of those. And then on this side you have, you know, these small reference cards and your alignment cards. All right. So that is how that works. Everything goes back in pretty well. And the last thing, of course, we want to know is, once you have everything in there, if the box gets tilted or turned over or whatever, will everything stay where it's supposed to, or will it become a crazy mess? So let's see that. Tilt it on end. All right, turn it over. Like that. How are we looking? Okay, so some of the coins rolled around a bit. Okay, that happened because the way this is constructed, there's a notch here, which is convenient for being able to pick up the cards and pull them out, but it means if you flip the whole thing over, some of these coins might roll up into this space. All right, so not a big deal. Easy fix. Everything else seems like it's where it's supposed to be, just kind of jostled around a little bit. So, all right, that is that. So that's how everything is organized. That gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on here, but we'll go back up top and I'll just give you some closing thoughts on it. So that is a 3D printed insert system for Role Player and its first expansion. That overview probably gave you some good thoughts about whether it's a product that would be useful to you or not, but just a couple of things. One, just to make sure you're aware, this is for the base game and the first expansion, the Monsters and Minions expansion. There's a second expansion. I think it would fit in here, but I'm not really sure because there's a few different components that get added. There's some smaller boards that kind of get added that attach to your main player board, so I don't know where those would fit. I know there are additional dice and there are additional cards. I think all the additional cards would probably fit in this insert, unless maybe if you sleeve them, because there's plenty of room here for all the cards. If you sleeve the cards, though, it might be a tight fit, and so then there might not be room for that other expansion. For me, this works fine because all I have is the base game and the first expansion, and I think with the first expansion, it's a really solid game. I don't feel the need to ever pick up the second expansion. So this works really well for me for that reason. But if you have both expansions, or you think at some point you might want to pick up both expansions, then not so much. You have a lot of situations like this where you have a tray and you have a stack of cards in the tray. And here, for example, I have the classes and the backstories together in a single tray. And basically every tray that holds cards has that situation where you have to put at least two different kinds of cards in the tray together. That's not a big deal because I like how you have this cutout here, which is mainly so that it's easier to grab the cards. But it also means that, like, at a quick glance, I can see, that these are the classes and these are the backstory cards, right? And so that works out all right. It's easy to see what's where. But, like, you can also see there's plenty of room in here. And again, that might not be true if you were sleeving your cards. But at least for me, there's plenty of room in here, which means it would have been nice if they had just put like a divider down the middle here, right? Or maybe even replace this single tray with two trays that are each half the size, whatever. But something so that, you could actually have the cards divided up and organized a little bit better. You also have a similar situation with this tray where you have your adventure tokens. There's really three kinds of adventure tokens, and they're all just thrown together in one tray, so it might have been nice to kind of like split this up into three sections, each section for one of those, each type of adventure tokens, just to keep things a little more organized. So there's quite a few things like that in this particular setup where I feel like there was just opportunities to make things more organized than they did. So overall, I'd say it's a good quality. The print job seems to be of a good quality. The product is functional. It does make it a lot more organized than I had it when it was just a bunch of bags and rubber bands. So it is an improvement overall. But yeah, I just, and again, those considerations may be there because they're expect people to sleeve their cards, or at least they want to provide the option that if you do sleeve your cards, you still have room to fit everything. So that could be why they don't have extra dividers, in the trays like this, because that would take up space and it would make it more difficult, to keep things organized if you're, it'd make it more difficult to fit everything in if you're sleeving your cards. This one, I'm not sure, other than just it would, I guess it'd be a little more work to make that happen, but splitting this one up into three slots for the three different types of adventure tokens seems like kind of a no-brainer to me. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. So anyway, those are generally my thoughts on it. It's overall, I'd say it's a decent product, good quality in its construction. Just a few features that I think could have improved it. So I will put a link in the description of this video to where you can buy this particular product on Etsy, is where I got it from a seller on there. So I'll give you a link to their listing of the item if you'd like to look into it. And there's other various inserts on Etsy or other various listings for inserts for the same game. So you can shop around too a little bit, see if you find something that maybe you're looking for something that will hold all the expansions. That is something that I saw in there, or various other variations on the same idea. So my name is Nathan. This is Nice at Dice. Thank you so much for watching, and you enjoy the rest of your day.